What's up, guys? Welcome back to the That So Dev podcast. My name is Dev. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I appreciate you. Now, look, y'all, you know we got some tea to get into. But before we get into the tea, make sure you go ahead and follow me at That So Dev on Twitter, Instagram, and literally everywhere else, including YouTube, girl, because we kind of popping over there. T. Now, look, my debut music video on site is out today at noon Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern. Okay? Debut music video. It is going to be a moment. Let me tell you, this video is everything that I wanted my first video to be. It's bright, it's bold, it's authentic, it's dancey, it's funky. Like you know what I mean? I had this whole concept in mind for what I wanted the video. I literally wrote out a script and we were going along with my script with what I wanted to do. Like it was great. It was perfect. It had a Saturday night fever feel to it, blah, 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 right? But here's the thing about life, right? Like shit don't always go your way. And shit don't always go to plan. That's a factual statement. Okay. And that's exactly what happened today. Not today, but for this video. So the video, we had everything planned. I mean, P's and Q's lined up, girls, T's crossed, I's dotted. You hear me. Okay? The plan was planning. Now, we get to the week of. Tell me why everything fell through. And it had absolutely nothing to do with us. It was beyond our control. So here we are, the week of. Plans fell through. Have to figure out and basically revitalize this video. And instantly, instantly, we had me, my videographer, director Yarny, Mercy Productions. Like, we kind of were on the same wavelength here because Yarny's trying to stay within my vision, right? Because I have a set plan, but all of our set plans just fell through. So we're thinking, what can we do? Because as a creative, one of the most fruitful moments to me is really creating something out of nothing. And that's what we had to do. But we also had so many things to our disposal in Vegas. We did indeed. So instantly we were like, how can we go ahead and highlight local Las Vegas, its creators, and just make this really one big thing where it's really a community thing filled with so much love and authenticity. And this is exactly, y'all, the vibe that I wanted. Even if it wasn't specifically the plan I had in mind, what we came up with was so fun. It's so good. I'm gagging because we had no budget, no nothing. We had nothing. You hear me? This was just flat out us in creativity. And I think we made something again beautiful and wonderful, and this song on site, it is, well, it's actually the first song off of my second EP, which my marketing rollout is quite different than other people. You really got to learn how to structure things. And on site, it I wasn't even going to drop it originally, but everybody loved it, and I was like, oh. I listened back and I said, oh girl, maybe I'm hearing something too. And the thing about it is, it never gets old. Truly, I could listen to that. Come on, repeat. So like I think it was just a moment of everything came together, and it felt like the moment met me for the song. And even though I didn't have the resources to make the song sound super polished, I, well, flat out just didn't have the resources to do anything for the most part for this song beyond my own personal capabilities because I have never engineered a day in my life. So all of these songs that I'm putting out, I have, girl, I don't know what I'm doing, right? But I'm really just going off of natural instinct and, well, natural talent, to be honest with you, because for somebody who doesn't know how to do anything in this, so I don't know how to do any of this stuff. Like I'm just, you know what I mean? Like as I go, I'm learning more about it. So I just think that it's one of those things that I'm kind of going with the flow with, and it just so happens to be working out. Because I'm not even going to sit up here and pretend that I totally be knowing what I'm doing, girl, because I really don't. But the shit was going to get out. I wasn't gonna sit around and wait because again, there were producers and not producers, there were engineers and whatnot who were understandably busy. They had a lot to do, but I also had a lot to do. So I was like, girl, I'm gonna get this music out. And at this point, I don't care if it sounds like it's coming from RCA or if it sounds like it's coming from your average SoundCloud rapper from 2009. So I just said it is what it is, girl, and I put the music out. Little did I know what all of the music was gonna do this whole year, because my whole idea was one song, drop an EP, another song. You know what I mean? Like I was just so focused on the music is the moment and the music is coming out. I was not concerned about the marketing. I was not concerned about the promotion. I was not concerned about award show nominations. I was not concerned about anything at all because we planned the on-site video last October. I think it's about October, November. We were kind of we for sure got a plan down to start getting this video thing together. And top of the year, that's when things kind of just started going at its own pace, girl. I dropped on site, 2 months later. My song Rumors came out. A month after that, IDGAF came out. And then a month after that, the EP came out. I mean, the reality was an EP was supposed to drop at the beginning of the year. That's why I ended up dropping on site because I didn't have anything ready. I was still sitting around waiting for people so that way I can get things done. Took matters into my own hand. EP is out now, baby. Okay. This is a whole showcase era, and that was the purpose. On site was the beginning of the showcase and how my marketing brain worked, right? So I was just like, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna drop on site. I know on site is on my second EP and it's not even coming out this year. It's coming out top of next year. So I'm gonna have all of the energy from a first song, and I'll also have some promotion for a second EP. So I use the energy from on site to really promote the first EP, right? Because your first song is that everybody's like, what's next? And so that EP came out because that EP was essentially next, baby. And I used that on-site energy to really help push that. But then the entire energy of that debut EP era, I used to push the second EP into people's minds a bit as well, so people are familiar that okay, now this era is ending. Now we're transitioning into something else, and you can tell by the colors, the sounds, the energy, not even just the energy in the songs and how I'm moving, but also how I'm speaking. You know what I mean? Like I may send a couple. My emojis might be some broken hearts for for the first era, but for the second era, it might be purple hearts or something like that. Like it's just changing up the aesthetic of the era so people know that you're transitioning in, out, whatever. So I think using this whole EP era to promote the next EP was great because while people are getting to know what the next EP is, they already know what it is because they heard on site at the beginning of the year. Now, while this first EP era is ending officially this Sunday, you now have the first video from the second EP. On top of that, on Monday, you get a second song from the second EP. So you'll have 2 songs out of 6 songs by the time this first EP era ends. And branding is everything to me, girl. It's everything to me. That's why you will notice my brand coincides with what I do. Wearing a mint green, light blue suit, it matches the color of my That's So Dev brand. I'm wearing a purple suit, That's So Dev brand. Wearing pink, That's So Dev brand. I am just branding, period. That is very important. And it really helped out with the marketing as well because there are some people who's like, the boy walking on the side of the road with the mint and green suit. And that was the whole objective. I literally said it to my mom. She was like, why are you going to wear this suit again? I was like, I want people to associate me with X, Y, and Z. And I put it in people's faces, right? And now some people were like the dude on the side of the road with the mint green suit. You know what I mean? The cotton candy color that Dev do? Like, you know what I mean? I've heard a couple things that just they reflect what I wanted. So the branding was super important for this entire era. And I think that all of this era was leading up to this video. It was because the first EP Departed, it was the first introduction into me. It was a showcase. The whole era. Everything was a showcase. The concert visual, the EP, whatever was in that era, it was simply a showcase. It was a sneak peek and a look into what all of it looks like for me. Because at the end of the day, if I had the total resources, this is not entirely what it would look like. It would be on a much more intense scale. And so I wanted people to see, okay, yeah, you can sing, you can release music, but hey, can you sing live? Can you promote yourself? Can you market yourself? Are you brandable? You know what I mean? So there's just several things that I wanted to showcase beyond just the music, but what I focused on was the music first. I didn't think about anything else. I didn't think about a video, concert, visual, nothing. The only thing that I had was a title for the EP. Okay. I didn't even decide on a track list until all of the songs were done. That was the focus. So the focus is always going to be the music and the rest comes after. And honestly, could that be a big reason why this era ended up being such a success for me was because the music came first and that was my only goal and focus? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. That is without a doubt. Because I just this era it unfolded so much of myself that I almost like could not accept what was happening because I was too gagged, right? And despite how a person may represent themselves in a video with such full confidence, right? This is a new space for me. So while I am confident, I also do have some moments of question mark, question mark, question mark, because when you drop your first EP, I don't think anybody expects to see a rising star male vocalist or artist of the year type of awards, right? So when that happens, you do get a bit gagged, baby. That I was. That I was. But this video, it 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 really rolls off the back of the Departed era in the sense that Departed era really allowed people to see the vulnerability and let them into my mind and, my past, what happened, what I think. And, after really letting people see all of that, I questioned what was next. I didn't necessarily question it, I knew it. And the next step was to really explore the second EP, which is titled You Up. It really is a bold and confident EP that also rolls off the back of the on-site video because the on-site video peels back so many layers of suppressed trauma from fear of judgment amongst other things. But the person that you see in that video who's not afraid to be masculine, who's not afraid to be feminine, who's not afraid to be themselves, everybody in that video is just being themselves in every authentic way. And I wanted that so much because it was a direct representation of where I was with this song in this video. There is an inner diva up in there, bitch. I said Miss Hannah Montana, the energy that lives within me, you need to pop out. My closet looks like Hannah Montana. The sequins, the furs. Hello. She raised me. Okay. So I really wanted to tap into that. I wanted to tap into a little Prince. I really enjoyed Saturday Night Fever, but I'm also a really bright, like, not only a bright person, but a bright colored person. I love bright colors. And so I just really wanted all of it to scream me, you know? If I wanted to drop into a split, if I wanted to throw some ass, whatever felt authentic to me, whatever felt freeing. I just wanted freedom to exist, freedom of movement without wondering, is this going to seem too feminine to somebody? Free and moving them hips side to side, free and snapping that neck, girl. Like, get up. Absolutely. Like, no, there were no restraints on me. And it was a moment in time where I was even talking to my therapist. I was like, there are going to be some people who are so uncomfortable with this because the idea of a man having feminine qualities and owning that makes people uncomfortable. And I know that has absolutely nothing to do with me, but it still was a conversation that we had. It has absolutely nothing to do with me. I actually let that go. If I didn't, I wouldn't be releasing a video like this. So I'm totally okay with that. But one would be lying if it wasn't a natural thought in one person's mind, because that is something that a person has to deal with. But also, after doing YouTube for so many years and getting so God knows what kind of comments, I have built skin of steel, girl. So it's like it's really hard for things at this point in my life, to penetrate this force field of confidence and authenticity. You know what I mean? Like, we're still human, we have feelings and blah 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 blah. But girl, we know who we are. We're very confident in that, and I really don't let other people's opinions or even fear of judgment make me waver in that at all. So this was awesome. This was such an awesome video. It was so important for me to make this video and for this video to be a debut, because there was no way I could put out a video or a song and it not really showcase me. It has to showcase me. Otherwise, what's the point if I'm hiding? So I didn't want to do that anymore. And I was like, you want to know what? Yeah, I'm going to crawl on this floor. I'm going to kick my leg up in the air, girl. Yep. I'm going to slide my hand all the way down from my face, all the way down to my thigh, real seductively. You know what I mean? Like, we're entering this you up era. We're really owning our sexuality. We're owning sex. We're owning confidence. We're owning relationships, falling in love, falling out of love. We're owning our feelings, whether they're sad, whether they're angry. Like, we're owning absolutely every part about ourselves in You Up. And I think the title might be it's fitting and it makes sense, but it could be misleading because nobody knows what the context of it is or what it means, right? We all know the general meaning behind You Up, but what does it mean in the sense of this EP? And of course, you could think on site early morning delight. Hey, you know that it's on site. Hey, everything you need. It's that guarantee. Fresh to death, baby. You know what I mean? Like, it you could easily think on-site, "Oh, sex, early morning delight." The first thing I thought of instantly when I was writing the song, I was like, Glee's Afternoon Delight. That was instantly on my mind. So I said, "Early morning delight." It hit so hard. Thank you, Glee, by the way. It was a gag. It was a gag. And I think that on-site really kinda it gives you an idea of what things are going to be about. But I think that my new song, Tired of Lonely, that is going to be something that really connects the pieces to people, right? It's going to connect because, and I don't want to give anything away, right? But if we're talking about the context of the song On Site and Tired of Lonely, both of which are songs on the second EP, right? So, Tired of Lonely is really this song that's essentially it's like a diary entry. It's saying, I am tired of this, grandpa. Okay? Like, I am very over I'm very over maybe not having a partner, right? Like, that's the concept. The concept is that I am okay by myself and I can live my best life by myself, right? But maybe I do want that connection. Maybe I do want something real. And this song really touches on that. And it touches on the worries that one might have about getting into a relationship. And, it also gets into what is demanded of being in a relationship and whatnot. And, you know, the weight that all of that has on me, I think you hear it all throughout the song. Like the song speaks for itself. And if you are streaming a song called You Up and you hear the song called Tired of Lonely, you know what I mean? And then you hear the song called On Site, you're like, huh, okay. Now this isn't all about sex. So what is it about? And there's a story behind On Site. There's a real story. Departed is a real story of my life, definitely. It is blended. Each song is about a specific time from Kentucky in my past, and all of them blend together to make that story and tell that story. And this EP is really about my transition out of Kentucky and here, and the new experiences and the new loves and everything. It covers all of that. And so I'm really excited to focus on that because for so long I had been focused on the past. I had been healing from the past. And I remember speaking to my therapist at some point. This was maybe back in March, and I told her I'm truly ready to move on from the Departed EP. Like I couldn't wait for it to be done. Not because these songs don't really resonate with me, but I'm not in that place anymore where I want to be so focused on these songs and experiences. Yeah, I made the songs and I was able to let things go, discuss in therapy, process things out, like really handle things in a healthy way. And so, because I was so far removed from those experiences, I was just ready to move on, make new music, and focus on that. So, this whole EP is really a reflection of that. It's a reflection of me really just saying, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and move on and talk about the life that I'm living now. And that feels so freeing to me now because, oh my goodness, I mean, I moved out here to Vegas and the world opened up to me like a beautiful flower. Kentucky drained that bitch. Ain't never going back there, ho. But where I am now is so beautiful. It is. I'm really in a space where it's what you make of it, right? And I'm not limited. I'm able to thrive. And it's coming out in this music. There's one song on the EP that I think it's the signature song. It is. And it is a sexual tea. It is a sexual tea, girl. And I think it's my best song. I personally think it's my best song. So many people are not going to agree because everybody has a different favorite song, especially the ones that aren't out. The ones that aren't out gag me. I was having trouble accepting how the song sounded on the first EP just because I was too busy looking for perfection. I was. Shocker, right? Realizing that, bitch, you have never engineered a day in your life. How the hell you expect perfection? Be fucking for real. And girl, after I really clocked myself on that, I said, you know what? You right. You right. So with these songs here, you can tell that there's hella growth. And it just it feels like I've bloomed myself. It feels like a different person. It feels like just a different, like you can tell that I'm in a different space because those songs before I was so sad. But now I'm like not that sad person, you know? I'm a more healed person. I'm a more confident person. Those songs were from like literally 10 years ago. 10 years ago, 2 years plus. Those what all those songs are from and those experiences. So this one is so present and I get to just put so much of myself into it. In the signature song on it was the song that let the guard down for this entire EP. It was, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was the first song that I made for the EP. It was the first song that made me think you're onto something because I did not make On Site before I made that song. That song is the reason why I made On Site, but I already wrote On Site inside my notes app way before that song. I had On Site for about 2026 for about 2 years. And for a year and a half, I kid you not, for a year and a half, it was just the song in my head that I was humming. I didn't think people were gonna like it. I didn't think people would think that it was good. Truly, I didn't. All of a sudden, so many people love it. And girl, let me tell you something about on site. Let me tell you about her. Okay? Y'all have no idea. Y'all have no Y'all have no idea what is in store for that song. Not even joking, not even gassing it up. Wait till next year. Yeah, just wait until next year. Just wait until next year, baby. Mhm. And when the moment finally comes, I'm gonna come on here and I'm gonna gag with you all. I am. We're gonna have a little celebration because I my wildest dreams are appearing. It it's almost imposter syndrome sometimes. My therapist would clock the hell out of me. I'm so sorry, Cassandra, if you happen to come across this. Love you. But like, girl, if you would have told me a year ago that all of this shit was happening, would be happening, I wouldn't believe you. And it's not that I wouldn't have thought that it was possible, but the rate and intensity and speed of which it happened, you couldn't make it up. A bitch really couldn't make it up. So I'm in the business of receiving because I deserve, right? I'm starting to see the fruits of my labor. And that just means keep working. Keep working, keep putting in the time, keep doing business, keep staying focused, keep doing you. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. So as I'm stepping into the award show this weekend, I'm ready to receive humbly, but I'm ready to receive my blessings that I've worked so hard for. I mean, I have been perfecting my craft since I stepped in the church choir when I was a little baby. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. 4, 5, 6 years old, singing on the choir. They had me in tenor, baby. And now I see why they do. The way that I sing, girl, I needed to be there. I did because it was like I'm an alto. This doesn't make sense, but I'm totally a tenor at the end of the day. Because despite what you might hear, different octaves and notes that a bitch just might hit while I'm regularly talking, when I sing, the shit go down. You know what I mean? My goodness, but you know, I've had a lot of compliments with people and friends specifically who have commended me for utilizing my lower register and notes, and they say that it gives it a authentic vibe and feel. And I agree because I feel like I don't hear a lot of people singing in their lower registers. I really don't. I feel like it's usually something that people dip into or halfway commit to, but it's genuinely my comfort zone. And most times, if I'm doing like a higher note or something, it's definitely probably like head or chest. But for the most part, I can pretty much do lower with anything, girl. Truly, truly, and that is a blessing to me. I think that that is such an awesome feature to have because, again, it's unique. I'm already unique by just being myself, but also, girl, I'm just I'm doing things a little different. I've studied the game. I have. All of this marketing, yes, it's me, but I have I have taken notes. I have studied the art. I have studied the craft. That's why all of these things look the way that they do. I didn't just wake up and do it. I didn't just wake up and know how. I didn't even go into it not knowing what I was doing. I knew what I was doing and I did it all with intention. And I love the way that it turned out. Truly. So we're still in the showcase era. This entire 3-part EP series is a showcase era. Truly, it is. All of it. It is a showcase until that debut album finally comes, which it ain't coming no sooner than 2028. So enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride. That's a full time commitment. And for right now, we're just focused on the EPs, having a little fun, you know, also figuring out engineering and all of that. And I think that I'm good at that pace right now and let things slowly build up, watch the resources slowly build up, and just keep doing my thing, collaborating with people, doing more collaborations. I'm probably going to get into my first collab next year. I for a quick little conversation with one of my girlies locally, and I think we're going to do something, and I think is going to be absolutely beautiful. So, speaking of beautiful, again, my on-site music video comes out today at noon, guys. I'm very, very excited for this video. I'm so proud of it. Thank you to everybody who was a part of it. Fox, I love you. Andrea, my baby. Misha, I love you, boo. Noah, you know I love you, fam. Since the day one, baby. Yarny, Mercy Productions. Girl, we got a long road of work ahead of us, okay? I'm very proud of you, very proud of us. We made magic, okay? And also Chase the Legend for being a part of my concert visual iconic. I'm going to find a way for him to be a part of the next era as far as video, but he's definitely going to be in the concert series, live performances that we have. So get ready to see him and Yanni all over the place. But again, my video is coming out today. I'm super excited for you guys to see it. I would like to know what you think. So if you watch it, leave a comment, leave a heart in the comments specifically. And yeah, guys, oh my God, my music videos. Whoa, bitch. I'm gagged. Let's just take a quick moment. Whew. Whew. Okay, I took my moment. And now I present to you the on site music video. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this podcast today. Thank you so much for streaming the That's So Dev podcast where you stay true and stay you. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms at That's So Dev on Twitter, Instagram, and literally everywhere else, including YouTube. I appreciate you. Go stream the on-site music video on That's So Dev YouTube channel and at that'ssodev.com. You're iconic, bitch. And I will be seeing you guys on the next podcast weekly. See you next week. Peace.